Welcome to Champions League Volley 2022. Whether your team is looking to win their first, trying to earn redemption, or go back-to-back, this is a tournament you won't want to miss. The Champions League group stage starts Tuesday, November the 23rd.
Good afternoon, European volleyball fans, and welcome to the European Volleyball Show. It is our last show of the year before Champions League takes a couple weeks off around the holidays and the new year. My name is Rob St. Clair, and I'm very pleased to be joined by a special guest. She plays for Volley Monza in the Italian league, but has played for Chemik Police in the past. She is the perfect guest to have with me on the show to break down this week's super match of the week between Chemik Police and Imoco Conegliano. Magdalena Stysiak, welcome to the show.
Hello everyone.
Thanks very much for coming. It's cool to see the arena behind you. I know you've got practice later today. You've had a big week. You already have a Champions League win in the books this week. Your Champions League journey has started off so well this season. Monza's first ever Champions League, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Yes. This is first year for this club in the Champions League, and I'm happy that I can be this year small part of this team and to help them maybe to play good.
Well, so far it's been very fun to watch. We previewed your match against Vakifbank Istanbul, I think the very first show of the season. That was a really fun match. So first of all, for everybody watching live on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. I'm looking at the chat. If you have any questions for me, any questions for Magda, any questions about this match or about anything else about volleyball, put them in the chat and we will answer them throughout the show. But before we get into this particular matchup, Magda, I wanted to ask about just kind of Champions League in general and your approach to Champions League and your team's approach to Champions League, because now while this is your team's first Champions League, like Monza's first Champions League as a club, it's not your personally first Champions League, having played for Skandici in the past and Police in Poland before, and some of the other players in your team have played in Champions League as well. So what difference does it make for you to have yourself and other players on your team now that have Champions League experience?
Yes, this is true. It's not first year for me in the Champions League, but for my club actually is first year, and we have a really good team. I mean, we have a good opportunity to win something this year, and I hope it will be like this. We want to fight game by game, and I'm sure, and I hope. And I really believe in my team that this year will be really good year for us. Also like Italian Cup, Italian Champions League, and Champions League.
Yes, there's so much volleyball going on, so much volleyball to watch. The Italian league is in full swing. I know there are a couple adjustments being made to the schedule around some COVID issues amongst the teams, but we're hoping that you and your team and everyone stays healthy and can play all the matches they're supposed to play, because the competition is just starting to get good. We're about halfway through the season in Italy and getting towards the halfway point in Champions League, and now when we start to have some real stakes and some real playoffs and titles on the line is when the volleyball starts to get really fun. This is one of my favorite times of year.
Yes. I hope that everything will be good, that everyone from us will be good, we will be healthy, because now we know about the situation with COVID. So I don't want to repeat, I think all of us, no one wants to repeat the situation from last year that volleyball stopped. This is the worst things that we can do, but health is the most important thing. So I hope we can finish this year healthy and ready to fight.
Very well said. So let's get to this week's super match of the week. In Poland, in Szczecin, I hope I'm pronouncing that close to correctly, in northwestern Poland.
I can pronounce, yes, for me it's no problem.
Thank you. I've been working on my Polish pronunciations, but I'm certainly not a natural speaker. So Chemik Police, the home team this week, they are 2-0 with 6 points in Pool E. Pool E, by the way, the standings look like this right about now. It's pretty much a two-team race, at least so far. Both Conegliano and Police have separated themselves as the top two teams in this pool so far. Police, and I didn't really know this until I was looking into them before the show. I didn't realize how dominant Police has been in the Tauron Liga in Poland the last basically decade. It's been so many years, and almost every single year Police ends up winning the Polish title. And you yourself, Magda, were a part of a few of those teams, playing for the same club a couple years ago. So you have a unique perspective into this team. But like you were saying to me before the show, this the roster and the coach and a lot of the players are almost entirely different. So Police right now in a pretty good place in the Tauron Liga. They're second place right now. They made it to the quarterfinals of Champions League a year ago before losing to Vakifbank Istanbul in the round of 8. And we think, at least I think that we know the starting lineup that we're going to see for this team. Several of Magdalena's national team teammates, they've been shuffling around some players so far because the two teams that they played so far this Champions League weren't the strongest of opponents, and they were able to play some different combinations of their lineups. But Magda, do you agree, first of all, with this starting 7 for this Police team? Is this the group that you expect to see start this match?
I think yes, I agree with the star 6. I agree, and they almost every game start like this. And I think also today game they will start like this. So I agree totally.
Yeah, so let's get into some of the strengths of this Police team. I think Marlena Kowalewska, one of your teammates, one of the veteran setters for Poland, has been doing this for a very long time. I wonder how many years she's played for Police. I'm checking that out right now.
I think 4 or 5. This is
4 or 5, and that's a long time for one
long time. Yes.
Yeah, one player in one club team. You don't usually have a career that long for one club, which is very impressive. Then Agnieszka Kokolewska as well, one of the middle blockers, one of the tallest players in the league. Łukaszyk, is she the left-handed outside hitter? Am I thinking of that correctly?
She play like receiver 4, like outside hitter. But I remember when I play with her, she play like opposite. So it's similar situation to me. You know, we are like open for both positions. But now I think 1 year or something like this, she play like outside hitter, and she play really good.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And you of all people are very well informed to talk about that. I've been noticing that more and more, especially in the women's game, that there are more players that are just quickly switching back and forth between the outside hitter and the opposite positions. And I'm kind of surprised to see that as much as we're seeing it, with yourself included, because the positions are similar, but they're really not the same. Like the style of player, like the strategy of each position is very different. Because when you're an opposite,
it's not so easy. This is true. It's much easier
right,
to change from position 4 to opposite than opposite like position 4. Because if you are opposite, you think only about attack. If you are position 4 outside hitter, you need to think also about receiver. This is not so easy.
right, and receiving at the really highest level is not an easy skill at all. It's very difficult and it's very important. So I'm surprised to see so many players that are able to switch back and forth, yourself included. So Łukaszyk for Police has played both positions and has settled pretty well at the outside hitter so far this year for Chemik Police. Let's see, the other outside hitter, Bojana Milenkovic from Serbia, excuse me. And an interesting move that Police has made that was announced recently is they're picking up a player by the name of Danielle Drews from the United States. And I being from the United States was more aware of this than most, but the NCAA, like the university season in the United States, just finished up. And some of those players will immediately head over to Europe, like in early January, and start playing their professional careers right away. Normally, we haven't seen that. Normally, it waits until the following year. But there are a few teams who have wanted to bolster their rosters or add a couple players, young players, in the middle of the season. And straight out of the university system in the NCAA has been a place where that has happened. So you won't see Danielle Drews for Police in this match, but she will join the team in January as an outside hitter. And I thought that was pretty interesting. What's your experience, Magda, with players joining the team like midway through this season? What sort of interesting dynamic does that create?
I had this the same history. I changed in December. Chemik Police at this club. I went to Budowlani Łódź to also second team in the Poland, and it's hard. What can I say? It's hard to change in the middle of the season club. But I am so happy. It's different situation, that I had, and now with her, because I am so happy. She can for sure improve like a person, like a player, because Chemik Police is one of the best. This is true. One of the best team in the Poland. They have really good players, and she can learn a lot. So I'm happy, and I'm waiting to see her on the court.
Yeah, great point. The learning experience and just all the positives, not just about what you can bring to the team immediately, if anything, but what the team can do to help you start your professional career. There's the jump from university to any of these top leagues and top clubs in Europe is significant, and the level of play
Exactly.
is
Play for the
extremely high.
university and play for the club in the highest level. It's for sure different.
Right, but there have been lots of players that have made that jump before and have had a lot of success, both American players and otherwise. So I'm very interested to see that.
Yes.
A player that I wanted to ask about is Jovana Brakocevic, the opposite for Police, who is kind of overshadowed by the great Tijana Boskovic of Serbia. It's difficult to get a lot of spotlight on the national team stage when you have one of the best players on the planet ahead of you at that position. But I was watching Brakocevic for Police last club season and was just so impressed with her. I think she's such a good player and doesn't get talked about quite enough. So how important do you think she will be, especially against a team with the blocking ability of Conegliano today?
She is so good player. I remember I play with her in one Polish team. She's strong like player, and she's strong like person. So, for example, I love to play with her because it's like this, like you need to do this, this, this. If something is wrong, she come to you, she tell you immediately, but this is wrong, change something, like she's so hard player. And this kind of the players I like, because this help, for example, like me, for person, this helped me a lot. And I am sure that today, during this game, she can help the team a lot, not only like players, but also with mentality.
With mentality, yeah,
She's really experienced. She's really experienced player. She played, a lot of game like this level against really hard and against really good teams. So for the mental, she can help a lot.
That is such a good point, and a lot of volleyball at this high of a level, and in a competition like Champions League, the mental aspect of your team means just everything. It's so important.
Yes.
And yeah, Brakocevic, great point. She's, I believe, she's 33 years of age. She's been playing for quite a while, and yeah, some of the players in this Police team have been there for a long time, like Kowaleska, like we said. That experience can really, really help in a match like this. One last question about Police before we move on to their opponents, Conegliano. Because it's so rare for a player like Kowaleska, I mean, in particular, the setter of the team is so important. It's pretty rare for a player to stick with a club for that many seasons. How much do you think that helps to have it be the setter that is the constant factor for Police over the past several years? Do you think the chemistry and the connection from the setter to all the hitters transfers over year to year? Do you think that's important?
For sure. I think it's really important because Lukasik is also this player that play for Chemik Police 3 or 4 years. So they have good connection with setter, and have good connection with setter for me is the best. It's really good and important things that you can have in the team, because setter give you the card, during the game, the ball. So from her, it's really depends a lot from her. So I think she can help this team, and she can help also to the club, to take some balance about the setter.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, she's going to have quite the task of setting this
Yes,
particular
exactly.
police, yeah, this Police offense against this Conegliano team. Who, I mean, where to even start about this team? They've been in the spotlight for the last several years. They had the all-time win streak that they broke of like Vakifbank's previous record. They got to 76 wins in a row, which is a number that I just can't even get through my head. It's so incredible, like across all competitions, to keep your level that high for 76 matches in a row
It
is
was 760 days without losing.
760 days without losing.
2 years. It's
Absolutely
incredible. Yes.
unbelievable. So, however, eventually they did lose one, and the one that they lost was an unexpected one. They lost a
Yes.
5-setter to Firenze in the Italian league domestically, like not one of the top teams in the league, at least in the standings right now. So that was very surprising. But and I had a perspective on this because I was commentating Conegliano's first match after they lost, and it looked to me like they were playing at that point after the streak was over, like there was actually a little bit less pressure on them. I think that they got to the all-time win mark, they broke it, they established their own new record. And then honestly, I think losing that one match might have even been a good thing. Do you have any insight on that? Like, I mean, not very many people have ever been a part of a match of a win streak of 76 wins in a row. But do you think there's something to that? Is there? Do you think there's now less pressure on this Conegliano team now that they don't have to worry about the
I
streak
think
anymore?
I don't know if they think about the pressure because it depends from the team. But for me, that they lose can be good. I mean, for the team because they are more angry, so they immediately play better. And
Yeah,
this is how I see, but everyone can see different. And this is how I see. So I am so sorry for them that they lose and they broke this challenge. I don't know, but I don't know how I can say for this like big, games, big days, some days without losing. But now, I am sure that they are now angry and they want to win every game.
right. Yeah. Nobody likes losing, especially a team that got so used to never losing for
Exactly.
literally 2 straight years. So Conegliano is, of course, the reigning Champions League champion. So they had that absolutely unbelievable win in the super finals last season against Vakifbank Istanbul. They won last year's Italian league. All of that was part of that incredible win streak that we talked about. But very recently, really just about a week ago, last week or so, Imoco traveled to Turkey to Ankara to play the Club World Championships, which was a great tournament. A pretty good field with 3 really good European teams. They made it to the finals where they lost to Vakifbank Istanbul in 5 sets. That was, I think, the first time Vakifbank had beaten Conegliano head-to-head since maybe 2017. It had been a long time, and there are a lot of people who consider those 2 teams to be the best 2 teams in all of Europe. I mean,
Yes.
they played in the Champions League finals last year. So Vakifbank draws first blood in that matchup this season. But what I was interested in about that and in watching Conegliano throughout this year, and as I was trying to put this projected starters list together, it was a difficult task because we really don't know exactly who their starting lineup is going to be. They have so many options. They have a lot of talent at a lot of positions.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
The only thing what we know for sure is that your national team teammate Joanna Volos will start at setter if she's healthy. Paula Egonu, of course, will start at opposite if she's healthy, and then Monica De Gennaro at libero. I think those 3, there's absolutely no debate. But
I agree totally. Yes.
at outside hitter and middle blocker, it's kind of a different story. They have so many good players in those positions, and their coach has struggled to. Well, I don't actually know if it's a struggle. I think he's intentionally been choosing several different options throughout the season and is starting to figure out what is best for the team. So I think that they picked up your former teammate Megan Courtney from last year from Scandici to kind of be that the in the outside hitter position to focus more on the ball control aspect. She's really in there to focus on reception first because they don't need her to be that high scoring offensive player. When you have Paula Egonu, you have a player like either Miriam Silla or Catherine Plummer on the other outside, and then you have the middles who are so good. So I do expect Megan Courtney to start, but between Miriam Silla and Catherine Plummer, I'm really not sure. Who would you expect to see?
Also me. I'm really happy for Megan Cartney because she's doing a really good job, and I'm sure that she will start today. But from these two, Plummer and Sella, from me today start Plummer, but only is my opinion. I don't know. We will see. And yes, I think like this. Also, Silla come for the change every game.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's a great point. It's an interesting line because if you have so many players, so many really good players that you struggle to decide on a starting lineup every match, that can be difficult. But like you were mentioning to me before the show, a great point is that if you get into the match and you need to make some changes, it actually then becomes easier because you have so many good players on the bench that you can pull in right away that are experienced and that can come on and are ready to contribute immediately. So that's kind of the balance of having a roster top to bottom that's so good like Conegliano. And you actually have a very similar situation with Monza because your team is so very, very talented and so deep at many positions that you actually have kind of a similar thing to Conegliano where your starting lineup for your team hasn't really been settled upon so far this season. And some of it was players working their way back from injury and new players getting acclimated to the club. But tell us about that from your personal experience this season, because we've seen you play both positions. We've seen you play both opposite end and outside hitter or receiver, and you've got Lise von Hecke at opposite who can play very, very well if you needed to, and then several really good other receivers. So what is it like for you and your team to not know exactly who, like months down the road, like when it comes to the playoffs, exactly who the
Yes,
lineup is
yes.
going to be?
For the future, this is a good question for my coach. But some months ago, when a lot of outside hitter have problem with healthy, they were injuries. So my coach decided. He asked me if it's a big problem for me to play like position four, and that I play in national team 3 years ago like position four for me is not something new, you know.
Right.
Okay, for sure. I have. I am not. I don't work for this position. I didn't work, so I am not so good. And everyone know that I need to work more for this position if I want to play. But we decide like this. We tried, and I think it was good. You know, We won every game, so this is important. We play really good. So now,
Well,
when
winning
girls come
certainly
back,
helps.
yes, now when girls start to come back, like Mihailovic, she was yesterday in the gym and in the game. I was so happy for her. Gennari and Lazovic. They now everyone is good from them, so it's important. This is the most important things. But now we will see. The coach need to decide because okay, my position is opposite. But
Right.
Liz play really good, and I'm so happy for her because she play really good every game. So now is big problem for my coach what he can do with who will start and who will be on the bench. But this is not problem. This is not problem because I'm so happy because that we have this roster. It's better like this than play without the changing. So I really like and I really enjoy this moment when I play like position four. It's hard because for me it's better to change position from position four to opposite than opposite to position four.
Right. Yeah, you're removing
It's much easier,
responsibilities instead
yes,
of adding them.
exactly.
Right. Right.
Much
Yeah,
easier, but we will see.
it's a good problem to have
Yes,
more than seven really good players, and then you just have to try and find court time for all of them. Yeah, it's an interesting coaching question. So we're excited to see what your team does with this because your team is very, very good, and I enjoy watching you play very much. And the Conegliano has a similar issue. I think Coach Chantarelli has done a great job this year of using lots of different options and having lots of different situations, and like they've just been absolutely everywhere the last couple of years, and there's so much experience and data from all of the experiences and the matches that they've played that I think they have a pretty good plan for kind of engineering how the season is going to go in terms of who's going to play and all those sorts of things. So yeah,
Yes.
it's a unique situation having more than 7 really good starting caliber players, and I'm curious to see what Conegliano chooses to do today in Champions League. So we talked about the pool already, Pool E in the super match of the week really quickly. You've got Zolk from Serbia and Nira Gyaza from Hungary also in Pool E. Both Police and Conegliano have beaten those 2 teams so far. Also, I guess I should probably point out where you can watch the match. That's pretty important, huh? The match starts at, 5 p.m. CET, so just about an hour and a half from right now. Which will be really fun. Maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2.5 hours. I don't know. Time zones are difficult for me. But the match is free live here on the YouTube channel, on the CEV YouTube channel. So if you're looking for the match, it starts very shortly later this afternoon. I think the link for the match is in the description of this video. So if you're looking for where to watch it, tune into that live on the YouTube channel. There are some other very good matches going on in Champions League this week. Like I said, the last week of Champions League before we take a little break for the holidays and the New Year. Zhezhov, also from Poland, had an unbelievable match against Lokomotiv Kaliningrad from Russia the other day. I think it was like 16-14 in the 5th set. That was
Yes,
pretty
16-14, yes, exactly.
Wow. There's another one that I actually don't even think I have on here. Yeah, Dresdner from Germany beat Prometei 17-15 in the 5th set. So that one went even deeper. Vakif Istanbul beating Mulhouse. That's in your pool, 3-0, which probably is good news for you because your team Monza has already beaten Mulhouse. So that keeps you in a solid 2nd place in the standings there. And then another one today. That one starts in about an hour and a half. Gorgonzola Novara versus Dinamo Moscow. That match I think is going to be really, really good. And if you want to watch that, make sure you pick up a subscription to Eurovolley.tv, where you can watch every match of Champions League and every match of the playoffs and the super finals and all of that when it comes to playoff time. That is where you'll be able to find all those matches. So let's see. I'm scanning the chat for a couple questions. Let's see if anybody has any thoughts that they want to share. Yeah, a lot of Polish, a lot of Turkish. I wish I spoke those languages so I could add those people to the show. All right, let's see what else is going on here. The last thing we'll do, Magda, is pick which team we think is going to win, but I don't think it's quite time for that yet. That's something that we always look forward to see if we end up being correct about the picks at the end of the match. So there's some Turkish fans in the chat that want you to come play in Turkey. I don't know. I think it might be a little too early to ask those questions. Also coming up later today in the schedule, by the way, is Béziers from France taking on Fenerbahce, who had a good showing at Club World Championships as well. So Monza's upcoming schedule for you, Magda, we don't exactly know because we have the Coppa Italia coming up, the quarterfinal, the round of 8 of the mid-season cup tournament. They're coming up pretty shortly, but with the cancellation of a couple games, we don't exactly know who you're going to play and when. So as you can see the background behind you, you have the gym. You're getting ready for practice later today. How does your team prepare in a situation like this when you don't exactly know when your next match is and who it's going to be against? Is that kind of different?
No, we practice. We practice normally. Today we have practice. Tomorrow we have practice. And now in the background, the men's has practice. So now I heard like wow all the time some screams. Yes, but in the plan we have the 26. We should to play against Trentino. The game is cancelled because of the COVID, and I'm so sorry for this. Now, to be honest, I don't know because the 30th of December we should to play game against I don't know who. To be honest, it depends on our tabella, which place we are, and for the Coppa Italia, it's system like first 8, second 7,
Right.
6. Yes, we play like this. So it depends because if they cancel our game, it's no point for no one team. So now I'm really curious, and now I want to know how what they will do in this situation. But it's Italian league; they need to decide about this. And nothing. We are focused. We are focused to our practice. We want to work hard because I really believe in my team, and I hope this year will be really good team, really good result, really good fight.
Right. Yeah, it's so many opportunities to compete for things in the Italian regular season, the Italian Cup, and in CV Champions League. And so I like asking players who are playing in Champions League in a season or have done it before, is there a difference in how your team prepares for a Champions League match, or in just how you approach Champions League in general versus how you approach domestic matches in Italy? Is there a difference there? Is there a little bit of extra preparation or intensity for Champions League, or do you just try your best to keep the preparation the same no matter what match you're preparing for?
Yes, yes, it's the second things. We try to do the best for every team because, okay, in the Champions League we play against a really good team like Vakif Bank, Morehouse against. After we don't know if we pass the group, so we will play against more team. But the most important things it's our play. But what I think we need to play our good volleyball, but we need to think that every team plays good because for me respect is really important. We cannot come for the game. Okay, these teams are not so good, so we can play so and so. This is immediately we lose with our head like this. That's
Right.
when we think like this. So for me, the preparation is same for Vakif Bank and for the last team in the European champions, in the Italian champions.
That's a great point. It's a discussion that we have some time about lots of different teams of focusing on the process versus focusing on the results or the product, so to speak. And it's obviously important to focus on the results because when you're a team as good as Monza, for example, you have goals of what you wanted to achieve in the different competitions this season, but you don't get to those goals without having a process of improving and focusing and preparing that your team really follows and is consistent with throughout the season. So that's always a very different, like, interesting balance in all sports, but volleyball in particular, because you play so many matches and there's so many different competitions that overlap with one another throughout the calendar and all these things. You're traveling all over Europe and sometimes all over the world. But if you can remain focused on what aspects of the game you want to work on or what your team is focusing on in a process, then that makes the results come a little bit easier. Do you agree with that?
Hello, I think. Can you repeat
Yeah.
the question? Sorry, was some problem and.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. That's okay. Do you agree that focusing, if your team really pays attention to the process of preparing for matches and having consistent practice and identifying the areas that you want to work on as a team, do you think that makes it then easier to, like, either not really worry about the results, but then have the goals be accomplished down the road if you focus on the process?
Yes, I agree. I think everyone from us have some goals, and have some dreams. But like a team, we want to work together, and this is important. We have some goal and some targets together that we want to create, that we want to do like a team, and we want to work for this result. So I think, yes, this is really important, and I believe in this, that if everyone wants to work for this target, it's much easier.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that the Monza men's team are warming up behind you. I wanted to ask about that because I think that Monza might be the only club, at least the only one that I can think of, that's playing at the really highest level that has both a men's and a women's team that are both really, really good in their respective leagues. What's that like? Have you interacted much with the men's club this year? Do you go to each other's games? What's that relationship like, having a really good both men's and women's program in the same club? I think that's kind of cool.
Yes, sometimes it's really funny because they have practice, we have video, or we have gym, and immediately after we have practice, so we meet each other every day. Every day in the gym, we are good with them, and yes, we come for the game together to watch. We have been good. You mean like? We keep finger for both of us, like they cross finger for us when we play, we for them, and like one team, I think we are great. One
Good,
big
and
team,
it's
female and women.
right. And another interesting thing is that your teammate Anna Daviskiba, her husband Vlad Daviskiba, plays for the Monza men's team. I think that's really fun too, having like a
Yes,
literal
yes.
husband and wife playing on the
And
same
the
team.
daughter of her, it's oh my god, it's so good. Arena.
It's-
Every time when she come for the gym, I was like, Arena, Arena, Arena. It's
She's
so
so
good. And
cute.
they are in general like a couple, they are so good. So good.
Yeah, that's a very fun storyline to watch. I've commentated a couple of both Monza matches with men's and women's, and it's always fun to see both Daviskibas play, knowing that their spouse is playing on the other team. That's very
Yes.
fun.
I remember we played one day, like same time, and she was MVP and he also was MVP. So
Yeah,
it was
that's the
so
match.
good. Yes.
That's the match that I did actually. I think I
Yes.
did. I think I did both of those matches. I can't remember. I definitely did the one where Anna was MVP, and then I think Vlad was playing on the road, and he was the MVP of that as well. That was amazing.
David Skiba days.
Yeah, it's the Daviskivas took over the Italian league for about a weekend. Very
Yes.
fun. All right, I think it is just about time to wrap up the show with my personal favorite part, and that's picking who we think is going to win this super match of the week. I thought the other day about going back and like cataloging all of my picks so far this season to see how correct I've been. I know last week for the men, I picked Warszawa to beat Zira Pankasa from Ankara, and I was incorrect about that because Zira Pankasa won 3-1. That was very impressive. But otherwise, I think I might be perfect on this year. So I think I've had a pretty good year of picking the competition so far. We'll see if that continues this week. I'll make my pick first, and then Magda, you can tell us who you think is going to win this super match of the week between Chemik Police and Imoco Conegliano. It is very difficult for me to pick against Conegliano. I think they have. I mean, what more is there to say? We talked about them so much. They won 76 matches in a row, which is unbelievable.
Exactly.
They won Champions League last year. They've performed so well in Italy and in all competitions all throughout the world. They have so much talent. And they also have Paola Egonu, who I truly think is just a matchup nightmare for any team that plays against her. I'm sure, Magda, you know very well that defending against Paola Egonu is one of the most difficult things in all of volleyball. And as good as I think Police is, I think they're good in the blocking phase. I think they're good in side-out offense. I do not know if they'll be able to slow Paola Egonu down. And especially with a setter like Joanna Volos, you have two very good Polish setters featured in this match. Volos will probably understand that matchup very, very well and has so many weapons that I believe Conegliano will win this match. And I'm going to pick 3-1 the score.
3-1 score. Okay. For me, I think I'm so sorry for my Polish friend, but I know how Conegliano play, and okay, Chemik Police is one of the best in Polish league. They play really good, and I hope to the people who will watch it will be a really good show. But I vote 3-0 for Conegliano.
3-0. I mean, it's difficult to argue with that. Conegliano, like
Yes,
picking
it's
against.
really difficult to say this, and I hope no one will be angry for this. But I know how Conegliano can play, and they are a really good team. And this result, 76 game without losing.
Yeah, that definitely speaks for itself. I
Yes.
agree. Well, from somebody with the perspective of yours, that is a very intelligent and well-informed pick. So I'm excited to watch the match and see if it plays out the way we think it will. Magda, thank you.
Fortunately, I have practice, so I cannot watch, but for sure I will see the score on my phone if my phone will not scream for me. Because I tell him like this is really important, and no, I'm joking. But yes, I hope it will be a really good show, and I hope that Chemik Police show really good volleyball, and this.
They will. Yeah, they will. Champions League has a way of bringing the best volleyball out of teams from all over Europe, and that's why one of the reasons why we love it so much. Magda, thank you so much for joining the show. This has been great to hear from you and talk about your Monza team. We wish you all the best success and hope that everybody stays healthy this season, and we will see you in the new year for much more Champions League volleyball. Thanks very much for watching.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Everybody else, thanks very much for tuning into the show. It's been fun. We will be back in, I think, January 12th is the next super match of the week. A couple weeks off for the new year of Champions League, but check out the CV website for more about the schedule. The match, Conegliano versus Police, starts in just over 2 hours. That's 6 p.m. CET. The match will go live here on YouTube, so check out the link in the description for that. You know where to find it live on YouTube. Any of the other matches you want to watch, Eurovolley.tv is the place for that. And I think that is about it. Thanks, Magda, again for joining the show. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, and we will see you all in January. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be in a Roper Volleyball show, and happy Christmas for everyone.
Absolutely. Thanks very much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.